Hello there, welcome to WorkAware, your online safety solution. This video will help you get acquainted with the basics of WorkAware in the desktop application. If you have questions, you can contact your HR safety department, and if you experience technical difficulties, you can always reach out to support@workaware.com. Let's begin. You'll have received an automated email from the WorkAware system. Within that email will be contained your username and password set. To get started, locate the WorkAware icon on your desktop and click it open. You can see that WorkAware checks for other instances and updates. When you click Sign In, it will take you to the first login screen. Here you can put in your username and your password. And click Login. If you can't remember your password, you can always click the Forget Password link and go through and change your password. Clicking Login will bring you to the next screen where it asks for permissions. Click Yes, Allow, and as you can see, WorkAware will log in while also checking for updates in the documentation or form templates contained therein. The first screen that you will see is the company message. You can't proceed beyond the company message without clicking OK to acknowledge it. This company message is created by the administrators of your particular account and contain things like highlights, links to other web pages or email addresses. It may appear every time you log in, or it may appear every time the message is new, once a week, once a month. That's determined by your administrator. Click OK to dismiss it, and you come to the home screen. While I have an administrative view with all of these different tiles for functionality, depending upon your level of access to the system, you may only see a fewer number of tiles. For the purposes of today's discussion, we will be going over blank forms, completed forms, the document library, and assignments. Let's start with the document library. In the document library, unlike the blank forms or the completed forms, is housed your static or for informational purposes only documentation. These will be things like safe work practices, policies, procedures, anything at all that would be contained in the big white safety binder. This is essentially your digital white safety binder, or any color for that matter. You can see that it can cascade out in different file folders, just like you would see on your desktop. And if we go into the safety manual folder, for example, you can see that it can contain file types of any sort. And we will just go back to the home screen here. Next are the blank forms. These blank forms are custom created for your organization, and they as well can be put in different folders in order to be more easily found, or can just be listed out on their own for more frequently used form templates. For the purposes of this demonstration, we will go into the demonstration folder and select the Toolbox Meeting to fill out. You're prompted whether or not you want to create a new Toolbox Meeting form. The answer in this case is yes. It does load up the form and completes all of the form fields for you that it knows how to complete based on either the information in an asset profile, or in this case, my own personal profile in the system. So you can see that it has filled out my name, things like the dates, contact information, and all of my different pick list items. If it's enabled where you can change these, you can certainly click on the drop down and change to a different division or different job classification. In this case, this form, these different pick list fields have been locked, or they're read-only. In this case, if we're going to list the attendees, we have an attendee field, which is a drop-down. So we can just go through here and select the people in the organization that we would like to include in this safety meeting. And type in the notes from the last meeting. Here we have the discussion topics for the current meeting. You can see that prior to me clicking on it, and I'll just click back out, that it had a red border around it. Now that I've clicked back out of the field, it's gone entirely red, letting you know that it's a mandatory field and it must be filled before this template can be saved. Moving on, you can see that we can add additional comments. At the end, you would want to assign this form to be notified to your supervisor or your manager in order for them to sign off on the content. Getting back to the form, in this form we can use free text fields like you've seen, drop downs as you've seen as well, but also radio buttons, which is a choose this or this or this, or checkboxes where you can choose multiple selections. In this case, I'm going to assign this to myself to sign off. That way you'll be able to see the entire process. Before we save it, you can see up at the top here that there's also a menu of other options. So for example, you can add a photo, and you can do so from the webcam of your desktop, or you can open a file and add a photo. This is now saved to the document. It travels with the document everywhere it goes in the system. No more looking for the form template and then see file folder such and such and such and such in order to find that photo. So now if we save this, you can see that it saves it to the cloud. When it's completed being saved, it will notify the people that need to be notified of the submission of the form. Because I assigned myself the task of signing off on this form, it prompts me now that I've saved it, have you completed this particular task? In this case, I'm going to say no. We will go back to the home screen because we don't want to keep working on that form. In short order, as all of the notifications are done via email, you can see that I, being assigned to that form, have been notified of its submission. If I want to open up this Toolbox meeting, I can simply click on the link described. As you can see, it takes you to a web page, asks you if you want to open it in WorkAware. I will click yes. Now down at the bottom, you can see the WorkAware icon is flashing. And I can actually go in and open up that very form instance. No hunting around for it. I can review it as the supervisor. I can go down to where my name is mentioned, and I can either sign with my cursor, or in the case of a touchscreen, your finger or your stylus, or in this case, I will enter in my employee ID because I have taken the time to put my signature, digital signature, into my personal profile. I click Get Signature, it populates that signature, and then I click Save and Close. If I want to date it, it will simply bring up a menu of the date. I can select today and OK, and it populates that date in the same order so that everybody knows which date you're talking about. Instead of 7/5/2020 or 5/7/2020, it's just going to be consistent the whole way through. Now we can go back, we save this form again. Again, I will get that prompt, have you completed the assigned task? This time I will click yes, and it will close out that task in the assignments. Going back to WorkAware here, the assignments are housed in this module here. If you open it up, you can see I have an old assignment in my Show Incomplete Only. In Show All, you can see that I have the one that I've closed out earlier. I can also take a look at items that have been assigned by me to other users. I can view the item that I've assigned to them. I can send them a reminder message. And again, this is the incomplete ones, or I can show all of the items that I have assigned to people and when they were marked complete. Going back to the items assigned to me, if I want to show this as complete, I simply click Mark as Done, and it disappears. Going back to the completed forms, once the templates have been filled out, this is where they will all reside. You can see along the top, similar to any Excel spreadsheet, there are different methods of filtering to search and find what you want to find. Because I'm an administrator, you can see that I have multiple pages of form submissions. Dependent upon where you are in the organization, it will determine which form completions you can see. Most people will not see all of them, but only their own and the people that are assigned to work under them. You can see as well that when highlighted, you get a preview in the screen here of what that form contains. You can minimize the attached photo and see more of it, scroll through. If you would like to make changes to it, you use the Edit Form button. This takes you back to that form template, and it again becomes editable. So I could type in here some more testing if I would like. Or I can go down and I can again sign off as not just my supervisor, but also my manager. And me. I will add my signature again. This time I will sign just using my mouse or a stylus. And again, we will date it tomorrow, perhaps. When we save this, that notification of the modifications to that form will go back to all of the people involved. And we're going to keep working on this form, because another handy thing that you can do from this edit form screen is down here in the left-hand corner, you can relate this form to other forms. So if we add a new entry, this window pops up. So here, let's imagine, for example, that this form wasn't a toolbox meeting, but it was an incident report. You're reporting an incident or a near miss. In a lot of cases, you may want to tie that incident report back to training from days prior, or a toolbox meeting, maybe a vehicle inspection. In this case, you can just relate a form to another form. You can also relate this particular instance to a form that hasn't even been created yet. Here's your list of blank forms, and you can assign that form to fill out. So in the case of an incident being reported, you tie it back to the vehicle inspections, the toolbox meetings, any training seminars, or anything that are in the system. And then you want to assign the investigation of that incident to one of your investigators. All can be done from this screen. I do want to save my changes. And now, as it populates here, what will pop up here is a document, a number of documents associated with this particular document. All of the rest of them should be 0 because they aren't associated with any of the documents. And if you want to see, what's associated with this, you simply click it open and it cascades out, and you can open the associated document as well. That concludes this brief tutorial. If you do encounter difficulties, of course, you can contact info@workaware.com or support@workaware.com. We will be posting more informative videos in the future. Stay tuned for them. Thank you very much. Have a great day.